Hello and welcome to Aeronautics Academy. Today we're going to be talking about advanced flight controls hands on joystick and mouse. You may have heard this referred to as Hojam, Hosam, or Homas. So you'll see on my left hand I have a joystick and in my right hand I have my mouse. I'm no longer using my X55 for this video, obviously, because the X55 joystick won't fit or work in my left hand. So for those of you that can use a left-handed mouse and a joystick in your right hand, you're really lucky because finding a ambidextrous or left-handed joystick is very difficult. The T16000M was the only one I could find. So here you see my joystick controls pitch, yaw, and roll like it normally does. And then on the hat, I have controls for my strafing left and right in yellow and strafing up and down in blue. Then on the mouse, I have pitch and yaw controls as well, but they're not directly tied to the ship, which means I can aim as freely and as quickly as I want. So you'll see I am using a G600 Logitech mouse. The buttons circled in red are my forwards thrust max and thrusters off, and then buttons circled in purple are my shield buttons for forwards, backwards, left, right, and reset, and then the gray button is the look behind button. I also have on the mouse, the button 1 and button 2 are my fire mode 1 and fire mode 2, and then I'm using the ring button for my countermeasures. On the joystick, I'm using the left bumper button up top for missiles, the bottom bumper button for boosters, and the right bumper button for closest enemy. For the trigger, I'm using it for select the enemy on my reticle. Alright, as I've never done a combat video, I want to go quickly over some of the basics. Probably the most basic would be what is port and starboard, fore and aft, deck and overhead. Well, fore is forward, aft is behind you, deck is below you, overhead is above you, port and starboard is left and right respectively. So the most difficult ones there would be port and starboard. The easiest way that I found to remember them, which one is which, is when standing at the back of the ship looking forward, port is on the left, starboard is on the right. And the easiest way to remember that is left has less letters than right, and port has less letters than starboard. So hopefully that helps you out there, because your flight computer will be saying proximity alert, shields down, starboard, shields down, port, and you need to know quickly without taking your eyes off the action which way is which. Okay, so with that covered, that out of the way, just going to finish watching me take care of the priest here. Once he's down, we'll go right into Hojam. Now, I turn back, face towards the enemy, start to take a beat, and my computer tells me, as you hear, I've got 25% left on my forward shields. So, I put my hands on the top of the mouse hat and I start strafing to the right, and then I use my strafe to avoid the enemy fire and take a few shots at that guy. So now he's damaged, he's floating away. I want to focus on these other two guys that are going to cause me troubles. So you see, I start on that guy, but I noticed he has a more steep attack. And when the attack is steep, you can really shoot them down pretty easily. Unfortunately, I slid into a rock there. Here, I sort of just wait, take him out, keep going. So next guy, you see, it's pretty basic. It's similar to using a HOTAS or a mouse setup, except here I don't want to be pointing myself at those rocks, so I leave the ship pointed away from the rocks, and then I aim far off to the side so that I don't endanger my ship. Alright, now these next few kills here, they're not exactly Hojam kills that highlight the uses of it, but I've left it in so that I could talk about a couple of easy points, and they're pretty much common sense when you think about it, but for some pilots, maybe they didn't think about it, so it's not that easy to talk about. There, you saw it right there. The aim dot was almost, or was right on top of the enemy ship. The lead indicator in length will indicate to you how quick the enemy ship is moving in an angular velocity away from you. So when it's close together like that, it's much easier to land a shot than when it's very far off. Even if you can hold it on that topic when it's far off, it's going to be hard to hit and hard to land hits. Here you'll see this Vandal Hunter is coming right at me. I can land a bunch of hits on him, unfortunately not enough to put him under. And how that might be because of my lack of skill. But I should get him here. Now, you'll see here, I'm not pointing the ship directly at him. I am using the turret guns to hit him. and then at the last second I move the ship so that I make sure my shot lands. Again, don't quite get that hunter down. Here I see a target of opportunity. Missing him, then I switch back to the first guy. His approach vector should be very steep, and I'm able to wipe the board with him. Switching back to the next target, it's the exact same thing again. Wait for that lead indicator to be as close to the ship as possible. Get rid of him. Move on to the next guy. Here I'm just using my size 1s to poke at him. And then once I've got a good angle on him, using the mouse and joystick separately, I light him up. Now with this guy, he's really close to the rock, so I don't want to risk engaging him, as the rock has really poorly lit and I can't see the contours of him. However, he is focused on my wingman, so I'm going to be able to come up behind him here and light him up when he's in the middle of a turn. Now, you see it's very hard to hit when their lead indicator is that far out. Now it starts getting closer together, closer to him, and then I don't know why I didn't shoot him. Here we go. There it is. See how easy it was to take him out when the lead indicator was very close to him? It's all about finding the right angle so that it's extremely easy to take these guys out. So here, I'm focused on this guy, but then I notice that I've got a target coming directly at me here, so I switch to him. And not quick enough, but I should be able to take him out really quickly here. Again, using the mouse and joystick separately. Get myself in the perfect position and then make the fine-tuned movements that I need with the mouse. Alright, I sped that part up there so that we could skip ahead to, well, a kill here, and then probably the most important kill in this video, using the joystick completely separately from the mouse. It all starts with me actually missing my target. I think about what I need to do. I use the joystick to move the ship around, and then I use the mouse to make my fine little movements, and it's extremely easy to take the target out. Switch again, making corrections with the pitch of the ship and the mouse at the same time. Again, extremely easy to take these guys out. So that's what I wanted to highlight. That's what I want everyone to take away from this video. If you have a joystick you can use with your left hand and a mouse obviously you can use with your right hand, give it a try. In the about section I'll leave the graphics on how I have my joystick and mouse set up there. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave me a note below and I'll get back to you. If you have any ideas for future episodes, please leave me a note and I'll most likely do it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.